it's our contention that, once again, we need evidence to really support the kinds of approaches that we're using. And so here's the competencies of coaching. So in the 2-day version of this session, there is a 360 that is built around these 14 competencies of good coaches. And so the participants get feedback, and again, we do strength building to help them identify where their strengths are and do they have a fatal flaw or not. It's all the same kind of process that we talked about earlier. So here are the 14 competencies of good coaching. So there are 4 under relationships. There are another, 5, I guess, that adds up to, under communication. And then we have 3 to do with action and results, and 2 with ongoing support. So those turn out to be the differentiating competencies, same process as before, looking at all the potential competencies of coaching, developing others, all of those sorts of things, and identifying which ones differentiate the best coaches from the worst coaches. And the same as before, that unless there's a fatal flaw, what we need to do is figure out which of these will be our strengths to build on, and that to be in the top 10% of coaches, any 5 of these at the 90th percentile will put someone in the top 10% of coaches. So which ones do I want to focus on? What do I want to do to develop my coaching skills? So that was the beginning point for an evidence-based approach to coaching. So from there, we add on top then, what could we learn from other disciplines about coaching? Because for us, coaching is a tool. It's a means to another end, a means to more engagement, a means to higher productivity. It's a vehicle, or it's a process, or a set of skills to help make our organizations or our teams better. But of course, there are others, professions, like counseling, like social work, psychotherapy, psychology. There are other professions where that's the reason they exist, is to provide these kinds of skills. And so obviously there are some differences with those other professions, but would you agree that there's quite a bit of similarity as well? And as we'll see when we go through some of their research, there's quite a bit of similarity in a couple of key areas. So part of in the development of this whole approach and this framework that Kathleen Stinnett and Jack Zenger did, who are the authors of the Extraordinary Coach book, is they looked at, first of all, the competencies, then looked at other research like brain research, change research, particularly then this last point on motivational interviewing, spent a fair bit of time there, which is a large field of study or approach that is built around a series of books called Motivational Interviewing. And let's just drill down a little bit deeper into that. So one of the key elements of those sorts of psychology, social therapy, et cetera, approaches is that it's an adult-to-adult conversation, that it's not an expert providing advice to the person that's looking for help. So the helper, that is the coach or the therapist, is getting ideas and insights from the individual being helped rather than being a mentor or a trainer. Now, there may be times when mentoring or training and those sorts of relationships make sense, but in motivational interviewing particularly, it's more of what we defined as coaching. So a key part of that then is maintaining the autonomy of the person that's being helped, so that, again, ownership rests with them.